This lesson is from the BCPS Secondary Reading Curriculum. It has been prepared as the first lesson for the week of April 27th. The title of this lesson is Distinguishing Your Thinking from the Authors. My name is Nancy Perkins. I'm a resource teacher in the Office of Secondary ELA and also in the Office of Title I. Sometimes we have to read a text that is written by an author who may have different ideas or opinions from us. The author's thoughts and main ideas may be going in one direction, but we as the readers have our own ideas, and our thoughts might be going in a different direction. Good readers know that this conflict of thinking may happen, but they are still obligated to read the text to try to understand what the author is saying, even if they think they aren't going to agree. Good readers are always aware of their own thinking while reading, but they also know that sometimes they need to work to keep it from interfering with their understanding of the author's ideas and main points. These are the skills that we will be practicing in this lesson. Before we try out distinguishing our thinking from an author's with text, let's try it with a video. This short video is about how a school in California has decided to deal with a controversial issue, and that's the use of cell phones during the school day. This school is banning student use of their phones completely. Before we begin viewing, take a few seconds and think about what you think the rules for using your cell phone during the school day should be. Okay, so now you have a handle on your opinion. Let's watch the video. As you watch the video, pay attention to the points that are presented that you agree with, as well as any points you don't exactly agree with.
We all worry about kids spending too much time on their phones, but tonight one school district is taking action. Here's Jolene Kent.
Just half an hour down the road from Apple and Google headquarters in the heart of Silicon Valley, kids are trading screen time for school time.
I love not having my phone, to be honest.
I think lunchtime should be at least allowed to have your phone.
Beginning this school year, the 1,700 students at San Mateo High School must lock up their phones before heading to class.
You're here to learn, you're here to work with your teachers and students, and we started getting away from that because of these devices and how addictive they could be.
Students slide their phones into this yonder pouch and lock it up.
Last year, a lot of people just spend lunches looking at the phone, not talking with each other. But this year, it's everyone there's nothing else to do but talk.
In fact, 95% of American teenagers own a mobile device. 70% check social media several times daily.
There are exceptions for medical reasons, and every student here gets this pouch for the year. And if you want to get a sneak peek at your phone, well, there is no easy way to do that.
8 phoneless hours later, students are saved by the bell, tapping this device to unlock their pouch, reunited, reconnected, after taking time to refocus. Jolene Kent, NBC News, San Mateo, California.
Take a minute and think about the following questions. What points did you hear in this video that you agree with? What points did you hear that you don't agree with? My guess is that you may have seen and heard 1 or 2 comments that you'd agreed with, but you may have also seen and heard some comments or ideas that you disagreed with. That's okay. You do not need to agree with everyone's ideas. However, as well-rounded, open-minded people, you do need to at least listen to and try to understand ideas that are different from your own. Let's now see how this skill looks when we are reading a text. The article for this lesson is also on the topic of cell phone use. It is titled, "Watch Out, Cell Phones Can Be Addictive." Before we begin looking at this article, think for a few seconds about whether or not you agree that using your cell phone can become an addiction. This full article is available in both the digital and the print versions of this lesson. As you read the article, you will want to use the following annotation system to mark the text to capture your thinking. If you find information that you do not agree with, you can mark that information with a star. Then be sure to write an explanation for why you don't agree with the information in the margin of the text. This gives you a way to express yourself and your ideas when you are reading. However, remember, we have to honor the author's thoughts and main ideas too. This author is writing about how cell phones can be addictive. Therefore, when you find information that supports her ideas, you want to mark that information with an A for author. Now, it could very well happen that the author presents some information that you agree with. You will mark that information with both a star and an A to show that you and the author are in agreement over a particular point. This may sound confusing, so let's watch a video that demonstrates this whole thinking annotation process with a portion of this article. Going forward with these lessons, you're going to receive the articles in two different formats, PDF file and also Word document. It's completely up to you which way you read the articles, just whichever works better for you. In previous lessons, I've demonstrated how to annotate on a PDF file. For this lesson, I'm going to be using a Word document to show how you can do the same kind of annotation in Word. The point of this lesson is the idea that readers don't always agree with everything that they read, and that's okay. But what we need to do is we need to give the author a fair shake and read their information and try to understand what their main points are and read the support that they offer for their points and decide whether we agree or not. And we might find as we're going along, even though we initially might think we're not going to agree with the author, that there might be some places where we actually do agree. And we just need to be cognizant of that as we're reading. Are we agreeing or are we not agreeing? But again, even if we're not agreeing, we need to read and find out the author's main points. So we can see from the title of this article, "Watch out, cell phones can be addictive. Too much dependence on your smartphone isn't smart," that the author's main idea or point here is that cell phones can be addictive and we need to be careful. Okay, so as we're reading, we're going to look for information that supports that idea. But we're also going to pay attention to where we might not agree or where we might agree with the author. So where we don't agree with the author, we're going to mark that information with a star. Where we find information that supports the author's main ideas, we're going to mark that with an A. And where we find information where both the author and we agree, we're going to mark that with a star and an A. Now, because this is digital, we can also color code. So I'm going to choose to mark things I disagree with in red and things that support the author's main idea that cell phones can be addictive. I'm going to mark that in green. And I'm going to mark in purple anywhere where I find that the author and I agree on the information. Okay, so getting started. Again, the title of the article, "Watch out, cell phones can be addictive. Too much dependence on your smartphone isn't smart." The average student uses a smartphone for about 9 hours each day. That's longer than many of those students spend sleeping. And right away I'm going to stop here because I disagree with that fact that 9 hours is longer than students spend sleeping. I've raised 2 teenage boys and I know they can sleep much longer than 9 hours. So I want to mark this information. So I'm going to highlight it. And then I want to make it my red color because I disagree with this. So after I highlight, I get this box and I'm going to choose my color red. Then I'm going to insert my star because remember that was what we were marking anything we disagreed with. Now I want to insert my comment and explain why I disagree with that. So I'm going up here to the bar and I'm hitting insert. And then I'm coming over here to comment so I can insert my comment. And you can see it draws this line connecting to where it was I marked in the text. So I'm going to put my star and I'm going to say disagree. Students can sleep much longer than 9 hours. Okay, and there's my annotation. Now I'm going to continue reading. In fact, such lengthy cell phone use shows that the technology could become an addiction, according to a new study. An addiction is a type of uncontrolled and unhealthy habit. And now I'm remembering the author's main point, that he's afraid that we're going to be addicted to our cell phones. And I realized that such lengthy cell phone use shows the technology could become an addiction, definitely is his whole main point. And remember, I was going to mark the author's points in green. So I'm going to turn that green, and I'm going to put an A next to it because that's what we were marking the author's points. I'm going to insert my comment, and I'm just going to say this is the author's main point. Okay, continuing on. It's well known that people can become addicted to drugs and alcohol. What's not so well known is that people can be addicted to behaviors, says James Roberts, a marketing professor at Baylor University in Waco, Texas. Roberts also was the lead author of a study about cell phone use. Some cell phone users show the same symptoms that a drug addict might have, Roberts explains. Certain people use cell phones to lift their moods, and it may take more and more time on those phones to provide the same level of enjoyment. Well, now I found something here that I agree with the author. I think it's very true that certain people use smartphones to lift their moods. I know I do. Sometimes when I'm bored or, want to lift my spirits, I'll go on my phone and read some things. So I'm going to mark that with purple. And remember, our annotation was if I agree, I'm going to put both the star and the A. I'll insert my comment that I agree that cell phones can lift moods. And then I also realized that this information here, that it can take more and more time on those phones to provide that same level of enjoyment, goes with the author's point, that cell phones might be addictive because we have to spend more and more time on them to get the same amount of pleasure from them. So turn that green. Remember, I'm going to mark that with an A because that's the author's point. And then while it's highlighted, I'm going to come up here, insert my comment. I'm going to say this supports the author's main point, that cell phones can become addictive. Okay, so that's how you'll continue reading the article, is looking for places where the author shares information that supports his idea that, actually it's her idea that cell phones can be addictive, and mark that with an A. Look for places where you disagree, mark that with a star, and look for places where you might agree with the author. And continue your annotation, and then you'll save what you've done and submit it to your teacher. There's an assignment link on this lesson where you can submit your annotations to your teacher. Okay, enjoy the article. Now that you have seen a demonstration of the annotation process, finish reading your copy of the article and annotating it appropriately. Now that you've finished reading and annotating the whole article, it's time to reflect on the information that you read and also the thinking that you were doing while reading. This lesson directs you to show what you know by responding to both of these prompts in 2 or 3 well-written sentences. Think about what you would write for each of these as your response. Look back at how you annotated your article to help you formulate your responses. The first prompt directs you to explain the author's main points in this article. The second prompt directs you to explain how your thinking compared with the author's. Was there information with which you disagreed? Was there information with which you and the author agreed? And remember, it is okay if you are asked to read a text where you might not fully agree with the author's points. You just have to recognize when your thoughts and the author's are not going in the same direction. But you still owe it to the author to hear them out and to try to understand their point of view.